Hey Dave, someone alerted me that you finally finished this podcast that you've been working on for almost a year now. I have to say, it has caused me a lot of unnecessary anxiety in that time, since your initial approach was to take Reddit to ask for dirt about me. Having now heard it, I'm glad you did not decide to take the easy route, and it's obvious you put a great deal of work into it. You did get a few things factually wrong, such as the fact that I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, not University of California, Berkeley. And that the band that calls itself Lounge Act and released the album Procrastinate Now has nothing to do with me, and never did. But, other than that, you did enough research to pretty much determine that I'm a normal human being, like everyone else. Not some picture of moralistic perfection, the way some very sensitive people online seem to expect me to be. Having said that, there's one part of your podcast which is littered with inaccuracies and straight-up deception that I felt compelled to let you know about before you publish it. So here it is. Justin Drown is a liar. I never doxed him. I posted a picture of his fat, ugly, troll-like face. I never posted his home address anywhere. Proof that he is a liar in his very own words, which contradict themselves. First of all, he says he took over the subreddit because it was dead and he wanted to moderate it and make it a vibrant community of dialogue. Yet a few minutes later, while he's claiming not to be obsessed with me, he says the subreddit is practically dead nowadays. So which is it, Justin? The fact of the matter is that the subreddit only looks dead now. That is because in December, after I posted some things about him on Twitter, he decided to talk to you and tell you this fiction. So he deleted dozens of posts and comments, pretty much all the positive ones, and the ones calling him out for allowing so many negative posts and commenters on a fan page, and for banning users who mention this. I've included some screenshots to prove this. The fan named Tanya you had on isn't the only person he's banned for making a positive, supportive comment, or questioning his motives as an admin. Apparently, he thinks I should take all of his criticism, but isn't willing to take any of his own. Ever since then, he stopped allowing all posts and comments to make the subreddit appear dead, so that he could tell this fallacy to you, apparently. There is then a section that says, deleting non-negative post, followed by a Dropbox link. The email goes on. Not to mention, one of the very first actions he took as a moderator was to invite the mod of /r/sword scale to mod with him. After I had explained that he had created this subreddit against my wishes and simply to bash me. Then, shortly after, he made a sticky post, which has been up there ever since he took over the subreddit, and banned me from it, talking about what a terrible person I am. The irony is that detractors and trolls now use this narrative of, look what a shitty person he is. He got banned from his own subreddit. This post contains a bunch of very negative information, most of which are lies, and detractors often point to this post as proof that I'm a terrible person and no one should listen to my podcast. Imagine working your ass off to build something, having it fail, doing it again, having that fail, again and again. And then finally you stumble upon something that works, that has value, that people genuinely love. And then some mouth-breathing shitbag tries to take it away from you with a subreddit post. Meanwhile, attacking your character and dragging your name through the mud. All for what? Because I wanted to make a podcast and entertain people? And did so for 2.5 years, literally without making a penny off of it? How would you feel? Would you be cool, calm, and collected? Or would you be pretty pissed off? Just imagine for a second being the target of the following behavior. Take note of the irony of these people criticizing me for bad behavior. There's then another secondary Dropbox link, followed by, if you choose to post any of these. I'd appreciate it if you remove any indication of whose account took the screenshot, i.e. profile pic or metadata. Before I could respond, Boudet sent me this. Oh, one more thing. Here's at least one of the posts calling out Justin Drown's behavior as a mod that was deleted. Weird, right? Wow. I haven't even gotten a chance to get this thing out yet, Mike. So I had to contact Justin, obviously. And so here's what I said. I don't want to flare up anything or push you more into this, but I think this is finally something to be documented and for people to see and hear firsthand how extreme things can get. With all of that said, here's a portion of the email Mike sent to me. Justin did reply, quote unquote, that is because in December after I posted some things about him on Twitter. That is a hilarious way to put posting my photograph and going on long-winded rants about how I'm a loser and need to drown. Also, this is the pic with my photograph in it. There's a link. After he posted my photo and I posted proof of his docs on the subreddit, yes, I removed some comments. Here's an example of one. I've unremoved the comment to give you an example. This is now a 2-month-old comment. Now, I know you don't moderate, but what is suspicious about that account? Look at the Reddit post history. Shortly after Mike goes on a long rant and posts my photos, these accounts with no Reddit history show up to post in the subreddit. Notice how they never made a comment before or after. That can mean a few things. 1, it's Mike. 2, it's one of Mike's trusted fans/friends sent to basically call me a baby. Number 3, Mike's comments on Twitter motivated people who saw my photo and username to brigade the subreddit. I'm all ears if you have any other idea on that front, because if it's any of those 3, it violates Reddit's site-wide rules. Also, there are only 17 total bans on the subreddit. Some of them not even done by me. In any of the subreddits I'm a part of, there are thousands of bans. In R. Stephen King, there are people being banned every day. He also seems to be suggesting that the subreddit is locked, but it's not. Here's an example of a private subreddit that is locked from other users. Justin goes on to quote a section from my email previously where I said, if I'm being honest, I discussed this with my friend and we have to say you're incredibly, absurdly committed to hurting Mike's reputation and protecting your own. If you're really doing that. Justin says, also, I don't really care about this drama anymore. I'm legitimately thinking about closing the subreddit because I'm tired of being included in the drama. The whole thing stresses me out because I feel that Mike is straight up irresponsible with how he handles this stuff. Posting my photo on the internet and saying that he hopes I drown can mean a lot to his fan base. A podcast host of a true crime subreddit should know this. Raina the Mermaid got in contact with me, and she seems like an extremely nice woman. I told her straight up that she didn't deserve to have her business attacked like that, and those people are jerks. Anyway, let me know if you have any further questions. Justin emailed me again before I replied. Update. I found myself thinking over it more after writing you, and I just actually passed the subreddit over to the other mod. If any other further moderating is done, it won't be done by myself. I don't want to think about any podcast drama anymore. I'm over it. I want Mike and Sword of Scale out of my life. Don't need the stress of surprise photos of myself on the internet. I have a beautiful wife, stepdaughter, and step-grandson in my life I'd rather think on. So if you have any further questions on this, consider it in past tense because I'm out of it completely for the future. Okay, so let's go over this. Let's review. Let's run back to Mike Boudet's email. Let's jump right in here. Justin Drown is a liar. I never doxed him. Let's stop there. Let's look up the definition of dox on Google. Search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Well, that kind of matches pretty well. Let's take a look at Merriam-Webster. To publicly identify or publish private information about someone, especially as a form of punishment or revenge. Yeah, that one matches a little better, Mike. Let me go over to dictionary.com here. Search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Still matches. Let's try dictionary.com. To publish the private personal information of another individual or reveal the identity of an online poster without the consent of that individual. So, Mike, you doxed him. That is definitive. It's actually in the definition. In fact, you say, I posted a picture of his fat, ugly, troll-like face. I never posted his home address anywhere. Well, believe it or not, doxing is not only about the home address. It's also about photos, names, and simple malicious intent when posting them, all of which match what you've done. Now, you could say that others have done that, but believe it or not, you have something different. You are a public figure now. Your name and face will be spread. Next in Mike's email, he talks about how the subreddit looks dead and that non-negative posts have been deleted by the mods. In the screenshots he sent, pretty much all of them are titled something, and the entire post has been removed. Episode 104 was very uncomfortable. Removed. Episode 103, discussion. Removed. Episode 102 is really good. Spoiler. Removed. Is Neil Mehta in prison? Removed. Help finding an episode. Removed. Episode 22. Removed. Quick question for any of you. Removed. So basically what you're showing me here, Mike, is somebody deleted posts that they shouldn't have. Which, yeah, that's fair, I guess, but it's nowhere near this level of attack. Certainly not the level of yelling, fat, ugly, troll-like face. Later in his email here, Mike mentions, imagine working your ass off to build something, having it fail, doing it again, having that fail again and again. Going on to talk about how he has done this show for 2.5 years, literally without making a penny off it. Now, Mike, you planned from day one for this show to be a business. Most businesses will lose money in the first couple of years. Maybe you didn't make a penny off of it, but you were equipped. We talked about this in part 1 of this episode. You were ready to go, and maybe you didn't make a penny. But it was part of your plan and your intent. So it just took that time to get there. Finally, Mike talks about, imagine for a second being the target of the following behavior. Take note of the irony of these people criticizing me for bad behavior. In this link, Mike has sent me a total of 9 folders full of screenshots. Now, I'll be releasing the large majority of these on the website, and you can scroll through. All the names have been blocked out. But in reality, to me, this looks like the internet doing what it does. Is it okay? No. But it is distinct, and we know of it. Mike, you literally do a show on monsters. And you also have stated and recognized that you will never run out of content. So it's time to start realizing that the internet is going to be full of people who are just shit. They're not murderers or rapists. They're not absolute scum. Mike, they are just bad people. And this will happen endlessly. You want to be in the public eye. This is part of it. I have listened to podcasts for a very long time, and I have certainly seen some different forms of hate, let alone attacks and vile things that are just said. But the only difference I found in this story is its host. Mike, trolls like to antagonize. In fact, it's kind of what they do. And I have to be honest. You're very fun to antagonize. Again, I would like to thank everybody for listening to this 2-part episode. It has been a hell of a ride. You can visit daverex.net for all photos, show notes, and links. Thank you again.